What's up, fellas? How we doing? Welcome to Pick Central on the Barstool Sportsbook YouTube channel. I'm hosting once again. Brandon Walker will be returning at some point soon, but as always, the show must roll on, and got a lot of fun characters to the left of me. And Smitty, start with you. How are you? How was your weekend?
Very fun character. My weekend was well. How was your weekend, Ben?
My weekend was tremendous.
Good.
Times are good. Vibes are high.
Tremendous. What happened?
Just the Ole Miss thing. Ole Miss made it back to the College World Series for the first time in 8 years, and I mean, I'm pretty much just losing my shit over it. To be flat out honest. Anyway, the last team to get in the field and made it to Omaha. Pretty great. Marty Mush, how was your weekend?
I had a great weekend, very fun. But I woke up this morning, and I see the standings. 50. Where did we get 50 units from?
Wait, what? I didn't see the standings.
My
parlay. Yeah, I hit the parlay at 35-1.
35-point parlay.
What?
And I actually bet on it.
When?
Friday. $15 to win $530, $540. I hit a 4-teamer. And yeah, I even have a receipt for it this time, boys.
What
Watch
was
out.
the I wasn't even for that. I just woke up. I was seeing 1 unit, 2 units, 50.
It's Mincy's world.
Yeah, I mean, look, how bad it got last year. But yeah, no, I took a fort. So what I was doing was I fired a lot of underdogs in this tournament. And then the big reason this one paid so much was Notre Dame was like plus huge against Tennessee, plus 255 on Friday, and they were in it. So I had 400. I had a minus 104, plus 255, plus 135, and plus 145, and then A&M won on a walk-off in the ninth to hit it.
Mincy, good for you.
Yeah. At least I got a receipt this time, you know?
I honestly didn't even care about that. I just saw 50. I'm like, what? How did that happen? It's June 10th or whatever date it is.
I can't believe I hadn't retweeted that a lot already. I didn't realize that was in the standings.
If I was up 50 units, I'd be fucking, again, the mariachi band would be here.
Yeah.
One day I'm going to get that.
Well, the funny thing is I lost so much last year that, like, I'm having this historic month.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's what's humorous about it. He's up 50 units this month. He's still minus 10 on the year.
10. Yeah.
I'll take it. I will
Not
take
terrible.
it. I think I'm down like 49 on the
almost
year.
halfway
Yeah.
through the year.
Yeah.
Good.
Hey, man, just running hot.
Well, then, all right. Then we got to bring the bad part of Mincy then.
Oh, there's a lot of bad points.
Not bad, but I mean, so you said
Rough spots.
you said Tennessee was going to win it, but you didn't bet it. I don't know if you could do the both.
Well, no, here's the thing. I got put on the spot by Brandon asking that when I didn't have an answer 4 weeks ago on the show. Like, who do you think's going to win it? And I was kind of like, I hadn't looked at the odds. I haven't looked at it. So, like, sure, I'll say Tennessee. I said it. I own it. But if you look at my receipts, I've got some pretty damn nice futures tickets that say the other way with A&M 60-1 and Arkansas 25-1 in this thing. You know, so, yeah, I said it. I'll own it. I got put on the spot. I did not have an answer. I was kind of stuttering, so I just said, yeah, I think they'll win it. I was wrong. By the way, Twitter got really, really funny when they lost yesterday. I don't know if y'all saw everybody coming out the woodwork to body bag them. It was quite something. But, all right, let's get to NBA Finals. We got a lot of other stuff to get to. We'll touch on college baseball later. All right, NBA Finals, Game 5 tonight, 2-2, going back to Golden State. Steph Curry one-man gang that Game 4. I mean, Andrew Wiggins had a huge game, too. I thought he had just, one of his best games in the NBA. I think he set his NBA career high with like 15 rebounds, something like that. But that was kind of a dagger for Boston. Golden State steals the momentum back. Now they're at home. They're a 4-point favorite. What are y'all thinking about tonight?
I don't think it's a dagger. Boston shot themselves
Dagger's
in
a
the
strong.
foot.
Yeah, it's a strong time.
Also, Game 4. The only thing I'm certain of with this Game 5, like I know the percentages are obviously high. Whoever wins Game 5 wins the series. The only thing I'm certain of is if Boston some way wins tonight, they win the championship. Because they don't lose 2 games in a row no matter what.
But
that's the only thing I'm certain.
There's this weird thing where they both play like unbelievable off a loss.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, think about it. If Boston wins tonight, they're up 3-2. They're not losing 2 in a row. They're winning one of the last 2 games. I hope the Warriors win tonight solely so I can absolutely hammercock the Celtics Game 6.
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Because the Warriors win tonight, Celtics are winning by 50 Game 6.
Well, Big Ev is the only one, because on the last show we had was Friday or Thursday, whenever Coley was on. Remember that? What was that, Thursday?
Yeah, Thursday.
So you were like, I don't really care. Whoever wins this next one, like I always bet flip-flop, what you have said. You got Rico. You had fucking Coley saying before game. It was
before game 3. They were talking about game 4.
There was a game 4 definite Celtics. I'm like, how does that make any sense of not knowing what's happening in game 3? I think that was Wednesday or whatever. Wednesday, yeah. Well, it didn't make sense. But if the Warriors win this, the Celtics are going to look back on that last game being like, that's where we should have went up 3-1 because they controlled that game.
And they had all the momentum.
They had all the momentum, controlled it, winning most of the game, and then obviously it's just funny where it's like everyone knows the Warriors' game plan. Steph has to score 40, but he just scores 40.
Yeah.
So it's like you can't also go against him because he's so goddamn good.
Yeah, no, it is wild because it's, you look around, like the Golden State teams obviously that had Durant and a healthier Clay were more well-balanced. I mean, Steph's carrying this damn thing.
Yeah.
I mean, but when he shoots like that, I mean, what can you do?
It's just crazy how his legacy is it's better than LeBron's. It kind of is.
I don't know about that.
If you think about it,
LeBron.
I know I said
LeBron
it like
beating the 73-win Warriors teams. I mean, that's
100%. But why isn't Steph talked about as much as what Steph's doing than LeBron?
Because he's not as physically imposing.
But it's like
I don't agree with it.
Not
I'm
a
saying
crazy
that's like the
take.
narrative because, I think there's also this thing too with LeBron. Like I think he gets a little bit like the short end of the stick where he almost gets penalized for going to more finals than if he had just lost like in the conference finals or like semis or whatever. Where like for example like the Jordan thing's like 6-0, but it's like he's 6-0 because there was all those other times that he just didn't even make it. Where LeBron's what 4-6. 4-7, something like that in finals, where it's like he gets like obviously he's won less championships, but he also made it to more, and he kind of gets penalized for like going further. You know what I'm saying?
What's Steph's record now?
Steph would be 4 and if they won this one, he'd be 4-2.
Which
and
is
one of them kind of is like literally the whole team got hurt.
Oh yeah,
the Raptors one.
Yeah, that one.
The Raptors one kind of like asterisk.
That was a Sixers one to win it all.
Yeah, the Raptors one kind of an asterisk. Like he got hurt, Clay got hurt, and then or no, not everyone else got hurt, and then the other one they just lost the Cavs.
They lost, but they were up 3-1 in the Draymond.
Yeah, no, that one that was a legit loss.
But I'm just saying, I know obviously it wasn't clear cut. Steph has a better leg. It's just like Steph is up there for the same as him almost. It's like you can definitely argue it where what he's doing is one of the fucking craziest things.
I'll argue that because of Steph's physical gifts, being not 6'8", one of the biggest freak athletes of all time, it's even more impressive. I mean, he's 6'2", 6'3".
They're two different players, but LeBron has done it with what? I mean, bubble aside, over 3 separate teams. With 3 separate people around him.
Too, I
mean, Steph has pretty much the same core going.
What's ironic is like I feel like Steph. If you look at it this way, Steph has 3 titles. LeBron has 4. But like I feel like Steph, the first one they won without Durant, almost like gets more credit, and the same with LeBron with the Heat when he stacked up with those guys. Like that was more impressive. If Steph wins a second one without Durant, like a super team, and brings them all the way back after all the injuries, Clay and everything,
still a pretty damn good team.
Oh,
but he makes that team that good though. Like Clay is like hasn't been playing great this NBA Finals. He's playing all right.
He's been pretty good. He just had the one bad game.
Yeah, no, he has been playing.
But it's like he's playing fine, and then but it's Steph. Like obviously it's a really good team, but that's just like LeBron. Only the biggest thing LeBron's done that Cavs team he brought to the NBA Finals.
Well, that's what I was gonna say.
It was the worst team of all time.
I think the big difference is like I'm a Curry guy like through and through, like since the Davidson days. But I mean, I think the big difference is you see like a guy like LeBron where if he like that Cavs team, they literally make the finals. The Cavs team is exactly the same. He leaves the team. They were the worst team in the NBA. I think his value to a team is much higher. Just like you see the drop-off if he leaves versus like Curry leaves. I think the drop-off is – obviously Curry leaves his team. The drop-off is going to be substantial. But when LeBron leaves the team, it literally like falls apart.
Yeah, you can't put –
like decimates.
You can't put
him.
They're 2 separate players. That's why the argument is fair. You can't put Steph on that Cavs team and expect them to make the finals.
It's LeBron. He just does too many like other things, like just the defense and passing.
The down year he averages 28 and 10 and 8.
And again, what I want to clarify wasn't like it's definite, but it's definitely should be talked about what Steph is.
No, I do feel
more than like LeBron's.
I think what Steph's kind of almost. This is gonna sound crazy, but I think you'll kind of understand what I'm saying. He's almost like a 2022 version of like how like of how like Shaq was like in his prime, where like obviously Shaq is he's this physical like presence, but it's just like the game was so inside. Now it's so outside. It's like there's like exactly what's coming, and even though Shaq, it's different, like because you're just physically there's no one that can match up with him one-on-one in his prime. But Curry, without the size, like exactly what he's going to do. He's going to run off screens. He's going to shoot threes. You know exactly what's coming, and you can't do anything about it.
The thing with Curry is how quick his release is. I mean, he literally he gets it up in like 0.1 seconds. It's just like that. I mean, he can get shots up in spots that no one else can.
The greatest shooter of all time.
But also, what he's doing too. You guys say put him on a team. It's like it's everyone with the Warriors, right? Poole out of nowhere, fucking Wiggins. Like Wiggins was on a lot of teams. He wasn't as efficient as he is now, but I think Steph makes him better because it also takes off of him and lets him kind of go by on his own. Like he's also making these other players way better around him than just like LeBron did. You know what I mean? Like they got all these players. Otto Porter isn't like he was good, but he's old now. Like there's players that you wouldn't hear of that are as like. He's making way better on his team now.
No, that's fair. Like I think Steph definitely makes players better, but I just think when you look like LeBron's track record, like, this guy was dragging like Matthew Dellavedova to finals and dudes like that were
that was
like
a ricochet shot. It was a lot worse.
But I'm saying the guys he's dragging like
Kyle Korver.
Can we pull up his
carrying these teams?
Can we pull up the roster of his LeBron's first Cavs team because it's the most shocking roster you'll ever see.
His best player was like
Eric Snow, the point guard.
Boobie Miles.
Yes, it was so bad.
The one that got swept by the Spurs.
Boobie Miles Gibson.
Yeah.
2007.
Oh no, I remember.
But it's just I think it's a conversation that needs to be.
I think like especially he wins this championship I think kind of regardless with or without it. Like I think Curry's like a top 10 player of all time.
Wait, do you want can you tell him to pop his headphones on?
I think 07
2007.
His first team, 03 or 07? Because 03 was his first team.
No, the first team.
The first championship.
Yeah, the finals. Yeah, 07.
Yeah, where they lost.
They got swept by the Spurs, but it was crazy they even made it there.
Yeah.
They beat the Magic. Those like good Magic teams with like when Dwight was first starting to get going.
Well,
I mean it was like Miles Gibson, like Boobie Gibson. It was who else?
it was before they got Antoine Jameson and all that.
Gauskas.
Daniel,
Larry Hughes, like Gauskas,
good guy.
Danielle Marshall,
yeah.
like
Wow.
Sasha Pavlovich.
One of the worst teams.
Look at this roster.
Hey, Damon Jones, he dunked on me once.
Yeah.
Like this team made an NBA Finals.
That was also when the
Gooden.
East had that stretch where the East was trash.
Me and Drew Gooden have the same birthday, huh?
There you go.
Drew
Right.
Gooden.
Learn something new every day.
But yeah, it's just obviously LeBron is the best. It's just more.
I know what you're saying though. This week, because I think because Steph hadn't made the finals in 3 years, and Golden State, was dealing with everything. Clay, this is like re-brought it back up. Like it was kind of out of mind before this year.
Yes.
Like last year, even when they were like the 8 seed, Steph was just dropping 40 a night, but it was one man gang. And now that they're back here, it kind of people are reappreciating it, Marty. I see what you're saying.
I think the thing too is with Steph, he's such a good shooter, we get numb to it sometimes.
Yes.
Like the thing, like we've seen him make these insane shots for like a decade plus now. So you almost just get like numb to it, but you realize like what he's doing. Literally, no one's ever came close to the shooting ability that he has.
Still have to win it. I mean, the Warriors better hope they win it tonight. If they lose it tonight,
I kind of think they're gonna lose.
So, Ev, you've been saying something about the series that's been right. It's just been back and forth. I mean, it's just two teams that are changing shots, that are bouncing back. And, Boston won game 1, Golden State 2, Boston 3, Golden State 4. I mean, it seems like they're just
– It's the zigzag thing. Plus, I just think that the public narrative will be they go, like, they're back home, like Warriors, like they're going to win. But we forget, I mean, Celtics won game 1 in Golden State. They kind of ended up getting blown out game 2, but they were literally up at halftime. And they kind of just like let a third quarter just get away from them. Like they were in a position halfway through that game to win it. Like it's not like they're just going to go to Golden State and just roll over. Like I think the general narrative will have this mindset of like, oh, like they're just going to Golden State. Like that's Golden State's just going to win. That's what they're supposed to do. 2-2 game. They're at home. I think I'm taking the Celtics with the points.
Okay.
It's actually been kind of crazy because I think there's been the last like for a while in the playoffs, especially I know in this series is the fact that the team that's won is just covered.
Oh yeah.
Like there's been no like when there's never been an underdog that's like covered the 4 points. I kind of think if there's a game that happens, it could be this game.
There's a lot. This is one of those games where
I think it's
the clip's getting emptied on both sides tonight.
This is just a dogfight game because like the winner of this game is such in the saddle to win the series, especially if Boston wins it to go home to close out potentially.
After watching the Warriors after the game, the way the emotion Steph was having and all that, I don't know. I just felt like that they really pulled that one. I don't know. And Steph even says like, we can play better than this, and we're still beat them tonight. Like, I don't know. It's one of the. I can't wait for tonight. It's going to be an amazing game.
I think the Celtics are going to play well.
Live stream tonight too, 9:00. Dave will be here. Celtics and Warriors. I believe it's from the office tonight, right?
I think there was actually I think it's not sure right now.
Okay, it's up in the air. But either way, there is supposed to be a stream.
There is a stream.
There's a stream. I'm not sure where it is, but either way, pumped for tonight. Game 5. We'll get some more picks on that. Some other stuff I want to hit from the weekend. We have an NHL Finals. Rangers ran out of gas. I watched that game Saturday night. I mean, it was so freaking hard fought, man. Like with that much on the line, Stanley Cup. They lost 2-1 to the Lightning. Rangers won the first 2. Lightning won the final 4 in a row. Looking back on the series, the Rangers were up 2-0 with a 2-0 lead in Game 3 on the road in Tampa, and Tampa fighting back and winning, scoring 47 seconds left. That kind of looks back as the key moment because the Lightning kept the momentum the rest of the way. The Game 5, the Rangers missed that empty net with 5 minutes left, and then the Game 6 was super back and forth. The Rangers scored with like 5 minutes left to tie it, and Tampa literally scored 8 seconds later. Steven Stamkos, just a freaking beast. And, I felt like the Rangers, like 2 7-game series and then a 6-gamer, I think they kind of got out of gas.
Yeah, the worst part is when we do this show, and after the Lightning won Game 3, we all said, like, they're going to win the series. Like, they're just going to do it. And then we just don't bet it. Like, I knew we all knew, and we all said it. Like
the way they won Game 3 too, when they came back and got the momentum.
They scored like 45 seconds.
And like I'm just, we could have bet it at definitely plus odds.
Oh yeah, I mean it was 2-1. Actually, probably wasn't that crazy.
It's probably like plus
one. It's probably even.
Probably not 30. That crazy.
Yeah, it probably wasn't crazy because
it's still. I mean,
but you knew it. No, but you knew it though. Yeah,
exactly.
No, and what a great finals though. Lightning going for a 3-peat. Colorado Avalanche, best team all year. I mean, as far as the teams playing the finals, I don't see how if you're an NHL fan you could ask for any better.
So it's Wednesday, right? Wednesday's Game 1
this year. So I realized the hockey. The reason it's later is because the Olympics. They shut down for that. I guess 2 or 4 weeks. But this is actually way better when it's not NHL Finals and NBA Finals directly together. Like it's like the hockey being a little behind it, I think has been great.
Yeah.
Now when the NBA Finals are like starting to wane down, this will keep going. Like I kind of hope I wish they would almost do this in the future because it's all I don't know, but I think it's great.
Still crazy. The NBA next game is Thursday.
So it's Sunday. So it's Monday.
It's going to kind of work out for the end.
What is it? Monday, Thursday, and then Sunday.
That'll probably keep them away from
yes.
NHL though.
Yeah,
that's probably part of why they do it a little bit at least.
Yeah, so it's Monday, Thursday, and then Game 7 would be next Sunday. Wow. Well, at least it that doesn't hurt Steph and the rest, like the older team.
I mean, the Avalanche have had off a week.
They've been off a long time.
Well, that's kind of what happened.
That hasn't affected them any time in this playoff.
What was interesting, it did affect Tampa, a little rusty in 1 and 2 in the rain, but then it ended up on the back end. They were fresher.
Yeah.
And, I'm looking forward to watching that. Also, want to touch on from the weekend, really enjoyed the Jersey Jerry stuff, the syndicate.
One hockey point
Go ahead.
before we move on.
Yeah.
I think there's tremendous value in betting the team that loses Game 1 for the series. If the Avalanche fall Game 1 all over them.
No, the odds change a lot, but you're right. It's only one game.
I think it's going to go 6 or 7. So
who do you think? Do you have any instance?
I think the Avs, which is why I'm kind of hoping they go down.
I don't think people are talking enough about this Lightning 3-peat.
Well, yeah.
I mean, who wins 3 in a row in sports these days?
I think the Avs are pretty heavy juice favorites right now. I think like 160 to win the series.
That's what I was going to look at the line, yeah.
170.
No, Avs minus 195.
195, wow, yeah.
So,
I mean, series. Tampa goes up 1-0. That's going to be at least even money. Tampa goes down. Then
you don't think Tampa's got value at like plus 165 to win
this?
That's what
it is, 165.
I think they'll have more value if they go down to 0-1.
The Tampa Bay in general has had. Imagine there was like actual real fans there.
You got Stephen Shea.
I mean, they would have the.
Tampa. You're a Tampa fan, right?
No.
Oh. You're Tampa strip club
I mean,
fan.
I was there for 7 years and they failed to grab me. I was rooting for people like Josh McCown.
But imagine now you got those
Dude,
the Rays.
as soon as you leave, the Rays are good.
Bucks.
Dude, freaking Lightning with the three-peat. Rays are good. Yeah. No, Tampa
Rays
turned into a title town a little bit.
Yeah.
Being a diehard Tampa Rays fan would be hilarious.
So the Rays Stadium is in quite possibly the most awful place ever.
St. Pete.
It's in St. Pete, right off the highway.
Lightning have it's in a 6th spot.
They literally give away beers for like proper price for like $4. That's how you know your stadium is crap when beer is like $4.
What's crazy too, Tampa is such a transient town. It's all these Florida people that live down there. I mean, like when the Yankees play there, it's
Yankees and Red Sox.
It's a Yankees home game when they play.
Yeah, Yankees and Red Sox, they sell out.
The Yankees have always done their spring training down there.
Yeah, honestly, it's pretty much like almost any away team. There's more away fans, even when they're. I mean, they've been good the last honestly
for over a decade.
For a good chunk of our the last 10, 15 years, they've been pretty good.
They were in the 08 World Series.
They've
been riding it all along.
I feel like people, and I know y'all respect it as Yankees fans, how good the Rays have been, but like they never have any money. Literally,
well,
like the way they
run
compete,
very well.
the way they develop people, and the way they play, like considering they're up against the Yankees and the Red Sox and those payrolls. I mean,
Chuck and I were talking about Joe Madden, just like kind of how far he's fallen. I mean, poor guy got a mohawk.
I saw that today. That's
I almost cried. I almost cried
brutal.
for him. I almost cried.
But it's like, what the fuck happened to Joe Madden? He just was never good. I mean, Chuck was saying he's a White Sox fan, but obviously follows the Cubs. He was saying that the Cubs kind of won in 16 in spite of Joe Madden, not because of him. In Tampa, he was just kind of the product of a winning organization and young talent and a good system.
I
which
thought he
kinda
thought
makes
pretty
sense.
You really don't think he's a good manager?
I thought, based on him with the Rays,
he's kind of just
and
won
then
everywhere
winning
he's
the World
been
Series.
until now.
Exactly. Well, he's had his chances with the Angels. This is his what, 3rd year? Like,
but I mean, no one's won there with that talent like ever.
Mike Scioscia did.
I mean, in 2000, literally 20 years ago.
Exactly.
I don't know.
They were built more as a team. They didn't just have
I don't
know, but
how do you not? I don't. I think
I'm about to say I'm not bagging.
The guy's won everywhere he's been.
I'm just saying it's an interesting thought process because you look at Tampa. No matter who you put there as the skip, they're winning.
I guess it's fair. I mean, I guess it's
why'd you say they won in spite?
Chuck said they won in 2016 in spite of Joe Madden, not because of it.
That was also a team that won early too.
I don't know if
that was a team that they've had
from an outsider,
a lot of guys that have now become stars from that, like Rizzo and Chris Bryant and these guys. But
I mean that's talent. I mean
young.
that's a Theo Epstein. That's a Theo Epstein organization. That's not
fair.
necessarily Joe Madden.
No, they won very young.
Look, I'm an outsider looking in. You look at record, you look at winning. It's seemingly a positive trait for Joe Madden. I mean, it's the Doc Rivers effect for me. Everywhere he goes, he wins, yes. But you see him every fucking day. The dude's a goddamn loser when you think about it and look at it.
I just don't know if you can say it's a GM thing instead of a coach thing too, because it's both. Obviously, the GM is for the Rays is fucking just putting these guys and who no one knows who they are and they're amazing. But then it's also like Epstein.
I'm just saying it's an interesting thought process because you look at the Angels right now and all the talent that they have, and granted it's just like one 14-game skid. But if Joe Madden was really the manager that he's supposed to be, he can survive a 14-game skid.
But see, like the Angels, are they real? Listen, they're like elite talent as elite as guys.
They have top guys.
When you have Ohtani and Trout, but they have Rendon, who since he signed the contract has not been worth the contract he was given. He's been hurt a lot.
Contract.
Even when he plays, he hasn't been great.
I mean,
their pitching isn't very good. Their bullpen isn't good.
Look, this is what
they just have two guys that you can go, whoa, those may be the two best players in baseball. But other than that,
they got a couple other guys with pop.
No, I'm saying they got some decent guys. Walsh isn't bad. Marsh is not terrible, but overall they stink.
Yeah, we've seen it.
Pitching's not good.
We have very, very good players on the Yankees, but what hasn't been good? Pitching, but not this year. I'm saying in years before this.
Yeah.
Pitching. That's what the Angels are too. You could have literally Trout and fucking Judge on the same team. You know,
it's just one of those where baseball is the sport where having the one big star matters the least.
Yes.
No, I think that's fair. I mean, there's 9 people.
Obviously, it's not like basketball. Basketball, one star changes everything.
And then and just quarterback in football.
Yeah, of course. Baseball, just having they've had the best player in baseball. That some argue the best player ever for almost 10 years now, and they've done absolutely nothing.
In every other sport, one player can make another player better. Besides
he's just
baseball.
he gets to bat 4 times a game.
Chat wants to know the reviews on Hustle, Adam Sandler's new.
Yeah, I'm seeing the
haven't
chat. I'm
seen
looking
it
at the
yet.
chat too.
I'll give a review.
So surprisingly
Watched it?
decent.
No spoilers. I want to
No spoilers. It's a decent, heartfelt, good watch. It reeks of cheese. It's very, very cheesy.
Agreed.
It's a good watch if you're from Philly or know the area or with the Sixers. Like it gives a more of a added element to it, I guess, because the cameos and the references.
Doc Rivers cameo, huh?
Yeah, I mean it's amazing because it's the most Philadelphia Sixers thing possible. They still end up getting screwed over in the end, some way, somehow. But like,
It's true.
Well, it must be kind of realistic.
it's just. I mean, like.
No,
Why?
it was-
Why? Like,
Unbelievable. It was unbelievable.
why would you do that?
When they show the end, I was like, I audibly laughed out loud.
Yeah.
So the movie, I would say, I would agree with Smitty. It was cheesy. It was like a solid watch. It was a good watch, but the whole time as I'm watching it, it felt a little bit corny.
Did it feel like a LeBron
Yeah.
James touch?
It was just very predictable. Everything that happened was incredibly predictable.
Yeah.
You were not surprised one time.
But it was still somehow well done-ish. Like
No, it was
it's a
solid.
good watch. It's a good watch.
I'll say this: I thought there was
It's a perfect Netflix movie watch.
Yes, agreed. Because Kevin said something and I replied like I was like, it's a solid movie. Only a few people said it. A few people were saying that they thought it was better than Uncut Gems. I think if you said that, you're like,
No, that's insane.
That's like the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Insanity.
Uncut Gems, you couldn't breathe.
Yeah.
But
That's
Jim's-
like
especially with
literally-
Sandler showing the different character. That was like fascinating.
literally is the opposite. Where like Uncut Gems, you don't know what the fuck's gonna happen. You're on the edge of your seat the entire time. You couldn't be more calm watching Hustle.
Would you say he's one
You
of,
know exactly what's gonna happen.
one of the most famous people in the world?
Adam Sandler, I would think so. In America, at least, I would say.
In America.
One
let's
of
say
them.
America.
I think
I'd
him or
say
Will
America.
Ferrell's more famous.
Sandler.
Yeah, I'd probably
Yeah, I
lean
think
Sandler.
Sandler,
They're
too.
I mean, they're super close. I mean, it's not. I think it's like apples and oranges. Like they're right there. I don't know.
I mean, everyone's seen Happy Gilmore.
And,
Yeah, but
and Billy Madison.
I think
And Billy Madison.
it's actually interesting because I think Will Ferrell
Everyone's
might.
seen Elf.
You
too.
think Will Ferrell might
Old school.
might hold up better amongst like younger? 'Cause I think Will Ferrell's had more classics, maybe like slightly later in time.
Like Step Brothers?
What has Will Ferrell been in recently? That's popped. Last 5 years.
That's fair. I guess like Sandler has it Uncut Gems like recently where
The question.
what I was thinking about where Sandler's a lot of his were like early 90s or like late 90s, early 2000s. Sandler or Ferrell's were more like mid 2000s, like late 2000s. Had some like big movies.
When's the last? The question is because we're saying like Farrell, and when's the last comedy that's popped? It's been a long time since you were like remember when like The Hangover came out?
You just can't.
Yeah.
Everyone
you can't
was
do- you
like-
can't
Old
do
school.
comedy.
Or
Yeah,
Wedding
old,
Crashers.
or like Step
Wedding
Brothers
Crashers.
was like,
Brothers.
but there hasn't been a movie
Hey,
where
Days
it
of
was
Fun,
like,
or no,
holy
what was it,
shit,
Talladega Nights?
that's like legit funny.
It's because you can't like be funny anymore.
Yeah, you
Kinda
offend. You're gonna
true,
offend.
yeah.
Like I've said, I've been on a kick of on GQ on YouTube. They have this thing where they do a lot of actors and they have them like talk about their like most famous roles. And I watched like a Jonah Hill one. It was really good. It's obviously got like a lot. He's got like some serious ones, obviously, but then like the like Superbad and stuff like that. And he was talking about how like say like you just like couldn't do Superbad now.
Oh no, you couldn't do
Like
Wedding
those like some of the
Crashers
like
now?
funniest movies ever. Like Wedding, like all these like Step Brothers. Like you just couldn't do these. Movies.
I'm actually shocked. Animal House is still as revered in like that classic manner, especially amongst like the mainstream like critics and media. I mean, there's like an underage rape scene.
Oh no, there's some bad. Like I mean, think about The Ringer. The Ringer is
Yeah.
like they would never be able to do that now, and it's just like I don't know. It's just I guess it's now in a
I actually remember my friend telling me about The Ringer in the moment, but I was like, huh?
yeah, I know.
Like just giving me the like telling
Rigging
me
the Special Olympics?
a verbal synopsis. He's like, yeah, they're just gonna. He basically was like, yeah, they make fun of like special ed. I'm like, huh?
But then also, but when
I
you
was like, I was like, what? I
also
was
it's
like, you
kind of
sure?
a cool movie when you hear about it. It's like, oh, Knoxville's best friends with the main guy. I forget his name in it, but he's like best friends with the guy.
Stabby.
No. His
Stabby, goodbye.
it's a funny movie.
It is funny.
How the fuck did we get ice cream? It's the best.
I want to hit on the Jerry. But listen, did y'all watch the Jerry about the syndicate stuff? Jerry.
I saw a couple of the videos.
Yeah, Jerry
I was
had-
talking to Jerry when I got
I
it.
thought Jerry was looking sharp. I thought it was pretty cool to follow. I mean, that's a pretty high, like, coming through for the syndicate. Pretty fun for Jerry. Did y'all watch the Belmont?
I literally, I was telling Jerry, I literally missed it. I was flipping through, like, watching baseball and stuff like that. I literally flipped through. When I flipped over, it was literally as they were interviewing Rapoli.
Well,
like his horse won.
So the McDonagall was I mean, it's easy to say, like, oh, the favorite one. He was 5-2. That was the horse I was talking about last week, but then I had him exacted with the 8 horse who didn't do shit. So I didn't end up winning, even though I had the winner, which is a crappy feeling. Because if I would even if I'd have bet him 5-2, you know.
That's like 2.5 to 1.
Yeah, it's a win's a win. Ev, I want to talk to you. People were saying that was the best UFC fight ever the other night.
Oh, dude.
Unbelievable.
Like, the main event, honestly, was just a phenomenal card top to bottom. And it was funny because it was one of those that it was a little slept on. Like, there wasn't for a pay-per-view, there wasn't as many big names as usual. But it's always funny in the UFC, and just, like, it delivered tenfold. The main event was Yuri Prochazka facing Glover Teixeira for the belt. Kind of the old guy who just won the belt versus, like, the new, young, like, hot prospect. He only had 2 fights in the UFC to get to this point, 2 like vicious knockouts of really tough contenders. It was one of the more wilder fights I've ever seen. Like I had thought this fight had no chance of going past the 3rd round, and ended up going all the way to the very end of the 5th round, getting a submission from Yuri Prochazka, which probably would be, if you had told me what's the least likely scenario of this fight ending, I would have said a Yuri submission for sure. It was unreal, just back and forth. There was probably like 3-4 times each way, especially Glover, probably 1 or 2 more, that you thought they were about to finish the other guy. Just kept going, all these crazy just like takedowns and like just ground and pound, all these just like reversals, and it was absolutely nuts. Then in the 5th round, where Glover, I think we didn't know at the time, but I thought it was clear he was up in the scorecards. Then he on the feet lands a few massive punches. Has Yuri, I thought, like literally almost out on his feet, about to knock him out, where I thought he was one big punch away from just like him dropping and the fight was over. He has him hurt badly. He jumps guillotine, which I was just like, what are you doing? Like, it was one of you're just yelling at your screen, like, what are you doing? Like, you had him dead to rights. And then he jumps guillotine, so then Yuri ends up at top control. They're kind of going back and having these crazy exchanges back and forth in the ground, like just both bloodied up, both beating the shit out of each other. And then just with literally 30 seconds left, Yuri just kind of like snatches his neck up in a moment of like, Glover just had like just literally, that's all it is just one little mistake. Give the guy an inch, and he just grabbed just firmly under the neck. Nothing he could do about it. Had like a deep choke. He definitely would have got choked out.
So he had to tap out with how many seconds left?
I believe 28 seconds left.
But I mean,
it was 28 seconds, and all the cards. He was up on 2 and tied, and it was a draw on 1, and he clearly was winning the 5th round. So he literally was 28 seconds left from winning the fight. Regardless, I mean, I'd say this year clearly the fight of the year right now. Unbelievable. I really hope they run it back because it was just incredible. Even
Glover over 40?
He's 42, and he looked amazing. It was, as just like a fan of the sport and someone who bet on him, plus like 175, and to win by finish plus like 250, and by submission plus 400, which he was very close to multiple times. Devastating, but regardless, even just the gambling, just as like a fan of the sport and a fan of Glover, just like he's like the nicest guy in the world. Has been around forever. Like finally reaches the pinnacle, gets to the top at 42. Has like literally he's beating the guy. Has the guy literally 30 more seconds. He wins, defends the belt, and gets choked out. It was just heartbreaking for him.
Yeah,
to see him
especially
lose,
at that age too, fighting.
Just heartbreaking to see him lose that way because he's such a good guy, such a great fighter for so long. But I mean, the fight was unbelievable. Yuri's an absolute monster too. He's going to be around a long, long time. That's kind of more the reason I wanted Glover to win, because I was like, Yuri will get back. Glover at his age, like you don't know if he's going to get back or not. I hope they run the fight back and do a rematch, because I don't know who the fuck saw that fight, wouldn't want to see them do it again. It was incredible. Like I said, clearly the fight of the year front runner right now in 2022, but it was just an unbelievable card. Weili Zhang with an unreal spinning back fist knockout. Shout out spinning back fist.
There you go, lad.
There was just some awesome fights. It was really, really. And then Shevchenko, I got to mention this quick, who was minus 650 favorite, has defended the belt like 7 times, regarded as probably like the women's GOAT right now after Nunez lost. I thought she lost the fight. Lost the fight. She ended up, Talia Santos, who she was fighting, ended up being on the receiving end of a really, really bad accidental headbutt that fractured her orbital bone that she did surgery on immediately after the fight. She fought through it in the 4th and 5th round, and she ends up losing the fight. It was a split decision where 48-47 her way, then 48-47 Shevchenko, and then 49-46 Shevchenko, which was just a horrific card. I don't know how anyone could watch that fight and say Shevchenko won 4 of the 5 rounds. I thought there was a clear argument for 3-2 either way, 48-47 either way, but I honestly thought Santos won the fight. I thought she won the first 3 rounds. I didn't have an issue with 48-47 Shevchenko because there was second round was close, but it was just an unbelievable card. Really, really awesome.
It wasn't even like a super hyped up one either, right?
It wasn't hype because everyone just thought she was going to run through her, and Sandra was just like using her wrestling and grappling and really grappling the shit out of her. Like had her almost submitted a few times, like when she had the choke in, and Shevchenko did a great job defending the choke, but it was nuts. I mean, like I said, I thought Santos won the fight. It was this crazy fight. I think the problem with Santos is I think she's not going to get that rematch because Shevchenko's kind of so big that she's at a point now where she kind of gets to like pick her fights a little bit. So I just don't think she's going to risk fighting her again. I think, in my opinion, she was lucky to get out there with a win in the first place. I hope Santos gets another shot because she was clearly like the best challenge she's had in a long, long, long time.
Awesome. Well, UFC continues to fight. I mean, they have cards almost every week. We'll keep it coming. We always look, it's growing so much, and the fan interest is so big. I love that you're involved in it. It's a great lane to be in.
No, it's awesome. It's just such an awesome sport. It's just like you just never know what's going to happen. It's the most, in terms of betting, it's the most volatile sport there is. You just never know what the fuck's going to happen. Like Yuri to win by submission was plus 1,600.
Wow.
And it happens. In the main event, it happens.
Speaking of volatile sports, I won't go too hard on it, but I'm gonna make it short. Couple minutes, quick synopsis of what's going on in the college baseball tournament. Another sport with volatility. I mean, crazy comebacks all the time with the metal bats. All right, Omaha. We got 6 of the 8 are booked. One side of the bracket is gonna have a crap ton of fans there. Oklahoma won the Big 12 tournament, went to Gainesville, Florida, won that regional. They take 2 out of 3 at Virginia Tech. They're in. I rode them and bet them almost every single game in the last 2 weeks. They kind of remind me of NC State 2021. They're a team that's just on a heater. Really good left-handed ace, Bennett, major league level closer, Michael, really good number 2 guy, and then Peyton Graham, the shortstop's like the best player in the tournament. They're in. They're taking on Texas A&M. Casey Smith's pumped. She's going. A&M didn't even make the SEC tourney last year. They hired the TCU coach Schlossnagel, 15 transfers, gets them all the way to Omaha. They beat Louisville in 2 really kind of low scoring, which was kind of surprising. Good games in College Station. I'm pumped. I got them 60-1. That's my future. Other half of that bracket, the Texas Longhorns have now made Omaha 38 times in 75 years. That's got to be one of the craziest sports stats ever. I know that the tournament used to not be 64 teams, but like 38 times, it's over half of the College World Series. Texas has made it.
Well, that makes it even more impressive if it wasn't 64 teams.
Yeah, it's nuts. And then that Texas-East Carolina. So East Carolina won game 1 at home, 13-7. East Carolina up 7-2 in the 7th in game 2. Texas scores 2 in the 7th. They score 4, and they scored, I believe, 4 in the 8th. East Carolina tied it with the solo shot with 2 outs in the 9th. And then Texas won in a walk-off. And then yesterday, the final game, Texas just came out, got up 4-0 immediately. They got hit with a 9-hour weather delay, and then Texas just killed them 11-1. I feel legitimately heartbroken for East Carolina fans. They're now 0-7 in super regionals in the last.
Tough.
I mean, never made Omaha. Always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Other stuff we got to touch on. The biggest story was Tennessee going down. They're 53-7 in the season. 25-5 SEC tournament champs. Many people said, and I might have been one of them, that people were saying they won it all. They're one of the greatest teams of all time. Man, Notre Dame, a lot of seniors, a lot of veteran guys. Notre Dame lost Super Regional last year in Game 3 in Starkville, and State won it all. I feel like that was a big experience for them, knowing what they're getting into in Knoxville. And, man, Tennessee kind of grabbed their throats on the line. And I thought Tennessee baseball, I came at them. I did a video definitely like sticking a knife into their hearts on Twitter right when they lost that went off. But I'll say this. The growing the game spirit of college baseball, the 2022 Vols did so much for it. Everybody loves a good heel. They were one of the greatest heel teams of all time. Like, people that didn't even, like, follow college baseball close were, like, following this Tennessee thing. But, man, number 1 team sitting at home for Omaha. Crazy. So that's one half. It's Notre Dame, Texas, Oklahoma, Texas A&M.
So do you think it would have been, I think it's an obvious question, but you think it would have been better if they had made it?
Yeah, I think it would have, just for the story. Like, I kind of wanted them to make the title game and, like, lose and heartbreak.
That's what I was going to say. Like, it almost kind of like the Duke thing with Coach K.
Yeah.
Like, where it's like you almost like the further they went and losing the bigger game would have been better than them. Like them losing like the championship or like the Final Four like they did was like better than them losing in like the first round.
Yeah, the Notre Dame
Like
thing.
it just built like just the drama keeps building till the big crash.
Their fan base would have shown up huge in Omaha. Notre Dame will be interesting to see because it's not too far from Omaha, and they hadn't made it in 20 years. But they're not like a traditional. You don't think Notre Dame in baseball. They got a hell of a team. So that's one side of the bracket. Other side, Arkansas, who was the Tennessee last year, number one, and got beat by NC State in the Super. They're back. They beat North Carolina back.
They didn't just get beat by NC State.
What's up?
Didn't they get crushed?
No, they lost 3-2 as a super regional. It was like a
I thought it was like 26-7.
No. It was like a heartbreaking. They lost. It was like very similar to what happened to Tennessee against Notre Dame. So Arkansas's in. I said to add them 25-1 before the super regional. So I've got them for $40 because I just thought that the odds were crazy. There's 16 teams left. They win, they're in. They play the winner of Stanford and UConn today. It's a game 3. Look, they played the game for a reason, but if UConn wins, I'm going to be completely in shock. So far, that series, game 1, UConn was up 13-6 in the ninth. Stanford hit 4 home runs in the ninth and lost 13-12. And then they came out and beat the crap out of them 8-2 yesterday. I think UConn's out of pitching. I don't believe in Northeast baseball. Stanford's a huge favorite today. I think they win. And then finally, Ole Miss, got to say it for a second, back in Omaha, first time since 2014. I mean, we were arguing with TJ, like Rutgers legitimately had a beef on like Ole Miss getting in the tourney over them. Ole Miss 14-16, last team to get in. I just can't even believe it, like what it means for me going to Omaha with Ole Miss being there. After going last year and seeing State win with Walker, Ole Miss making it the next year, I'm literally on the moon. And finally, they'll play the winner of Auburn-Oregon State. That game 3 today. So we have 2 games today. UConn-Stanford at 4, Auburn-Oregon State at 7:30. We'll have some picks. So that's a summary of what's going on with the NCAA tourney. TJ, I want to ask you a couple things. How was Barstool at the Barstool at the ballpark? And congrats on, I love your haircut.
It was good. Thanks. I appreciate it. Yeah, Barstool at the ballpark was fun. The Yankees are the best team in the world.
I was talking about the Yankees. It's almost boring how good they are.
It's
That's a first world thing.
We were talking about it yesterday on Shore Porch, and it was just like,
people are gonna love that.
what else are we gonna say? It's just like I sit down, they win, and I go home. Like there's nothing to talk about.
You're never that good when Aaron Hicks is still looking and swinging and missing.
No.
Right
He's
down
been
the
hitting
gut.
pretty well lately.
No, we all that good. Even Joey Gallo's starting to hit now.
Yeah, he is.
It's crazy. Like every game, like even you tell me that Garrett Cole gives up 5 home runs and we still win by 3, is when you know your team is that good.
I actually took the Twins plus 180 that day and saw Cole get shelled first 2 innings, and I was like, man, I'm like a genius.
Aaron Judge is
He's the best
player
in the world,
of all time. He's gonna hit 70 home runs this year. It's insane. I don't know what else to say. We're so good.
Because I think too with that, like, the thing, obviously the bats have been so good. I mean, the pitching like outside of Cole has just been tremendous. It really has.
I feel bad
really
for the
has.
Blue Jays and the Rays. Like they're playing great, but they're still 8 games back.
Well, they'll be there. I think what people aren't talking about enough right now, which you can't really, is how much the first round bye in baseball is going to affect.
Oh,
That's the way it's
big
set up
deal.
this year, right?
Big deal.
A huge deal.
Yeah, it's going to be. Yeah.
It's a huge deal. But I mean, and the
Especially with the first round being like 3-game series, like you just don't have to play that.
NL East is
Huge.
heating up. The Braves.
Braves
haven't
11
lost.
straight.
Phillies are good.
Phillies
Phillies
9
are
and 1,
good.
past 10.
Phillies look.
Yeah, well, I know. That's what
Phillies
people
look
were
good.
saying to ask you about the fit. Like, what do you
Where are
think?
they at in the wild card right now?
I
Can't
think
be too far off.
3 games back. They'll be fine. I think they'll make the playoffs now. They were going to turn it around regardless because they have too much talent not to, and their schedule's going to really lighten up. But they're playing some inspired ball. Like starting pitching's been very good. Bullpen still something to worry about. But I mean, clutch hitting, young guys stepping up. They're doing all this without Gene Segura, who was their second best hitter. He's out for like 6 more weeks.
Do you think they have the capital in terms of like assets or whatever to go get some relief help?
No.
No, they don't. Not really.
I mean, they could find somebody
Any
like
prospects or anything
like
like
last
you wanna
year.
really go for it?
Last year they brought in Ian Kennedy, who helped in the back end of the bullpen. They'll probably get somebody here or there. Alvarado's coming back, which
Ian
should
Kennedy
help.
is still around.
Yeah, he's like
Actually,
38. He's
Former
he's
Trent
got-
Thunder stud.
Yeah, he's got
Actually, kind of good too.
pop. He's still pitching like 94, 95.
No, I just haven't heard that name in so long.
He's
He
not a
was-
starter anymore.
He was a stud.
Yeah, he was a 20 win
He's like
starter.
really young, yeah.
But the Phillies will be fine. Like the Braves will be fine. Mets
Braves have just been on a fucking tear.
Yeah,
I have a
Mets are gonna come
crazy,
back down to earth.
crazy take, but Bryce Harper's really good.
You think so?
He's so fucking cool.
I mean, Castanedos' arm is a noodle, and I didn't really realize that. So when Harper went down, he thought the Phillies were going to be okay with Schwarber and Nick and left and right, but it's hurting.
Harper's is bad where like
Harper
he's
and
not gonna play the field like the rest of the season, right? He's like
No, he can't. If he was,
he could only hit.
Aren't you glad
Yeah.
they have the DH thing?
yeah,
now,
if the
though?
DH wasn't here, he'd be out till August,
Ugh.
Wow.
Jesus
and they'd be done.
Christ.
Y'all are liking so far. I mean, even regardless of Harper's injury thing, the DH thing's been great in National League, right?
I mean, I'm a baseball purist. I liked watching Zach Wheeler get up there and try to hack, but I mean, it's
You would
evolution
rather
of the
Bryce
game.
Harper see him hack?
Well, yes, if it was the choice between Bryce Harper playing or being out the whole year, obviously I want the DH, but it's not going to go back. It's like, what am I supposed to do? How am I going to, old man yellow cloud rest my life? They took away the fucking most exciting play in sports, which is a collision at the plate. Like, I know they're just going to start watering down the game, protecting people left and right from then till the end of time, so.
I do miss the collision at home plate.
No shit.
The best. You know what?
Even like
All because
take
it's all
out a guy at
literally all
second
because
base.
the Posey thing
Posey.
was literally it, huh?
Honestly,
Yeah.
and the crazy thing is, if Buster Posey, if it was just like a backup catcher for somebody, they wouldn't have changed the rule.
No.
You know what's crazy? Like we were talking about yesterday, AL catchers, like who's going to be in the All-Star game or anything this year. You don't have any more catchers that you were like a Joe Mauer or like a Buster Posey. Like Trevino might be in the
The guy's batting like
AL.
310.
Like it's just more. It's not like a.
I don't think he's
But-
going to make
but
the
you
All-Star
got-
team, but he's been playing incredibly well.
You got soft sailors like Salvador Perez
Yeah.
behind the play. I mean, he's
Well, he
not,
also-
not,
What
not
happens
doing what he
is-
did
what-
last year.
what
but-
happens is you have guys who are like
It was weird.
you have guys who are like catchers who are
Turn
like
on a
really
little
more
bit.
like DHs, and
Yeah.
they catch like a few times.
Which I don't get how their knees just hold up. I can't even bend over without hearing a snap, crackle, and pop. Salvador Perez is like 400 pounds behind home plate, just being a hog day in, day out, swinging the bat. Like, Jesus Christ. More power to these guys.
Phillies are red hot. TJ the mullet, I got to give you a shout out, man. I love it.
Let's see it.
You let it flow.
The fans want to see it. Business in the front, party in the back.
with the taper too. Steezy, yeah, hit him with that light skin face.
What made you want to bring it back?
I've been thinking about it for a long time. I just pulled the trigger this weekend. Said fuck it.
Looks
How
aerodynamic.
long
as
you been
shit.
thinking about it for?
Like 2 years.
What?
I love it.
I thought about doing it during COVID, and
No,
I
I
just didn't do it.
I mean, yeah, it's a long time to think about it, Eric. I
Yeah.
love it. It looks great on you.
Thanks, man.
Well, I love it too. I think it's awesome. Keep rocking it.
Proud of you.
Yeah, exactly. Proud of you, son.
She's proud of you.
Yeah, no, but let it fly. And y'all had a big time at the ballpark too.
Yeah, it was a great time. A lot of people came out. Appreciate everybody. Next one is Red Sox, I think.
Yeah, Yankees Red Sox in July, I believe, at some point. I still that one. If I'm around mid to late July, I'm gonna go to that. That's one I got to get to. I've kind of like realized the other day, like it's like kind of pitiful how little of like the New York touristy bucket list stuff I've done since I've been here. Not that going to Yankees is touristy, but like I need to do more of the stuff, and I need to make a Yankees game, and I need to make a Mets game, and I need to do
We need to get you on a water taxi, Bendance.
a what?
It's one of those taxis that just go around the aisle.
I need to go to like the Statue of Liberty and Empire
Yeah.
State Building. I need to just have a like tourist goes New York thing. A lot of stuff. I need to go see our guy O'Day at the Empire.
You hit a O'Day for a little
think-
tour.
I think that would be a lot of fun. So Monday sports today, we've got obviously the NBA Finals at 9. The big thing, we'll have a stream. We've got 2 college baseball. Game 3 is the Super Regional, and we've got some Major League Baseball as well. I'm kind of down, y'all. Let's go ahead and get the picks. Right, we got a few minutes left, so we can kind of explain them. Man, those standings just make me so happy. I mean, it's obviously because I just hit a monster. Like, let's be real. I had a
You were
plus 30.
plus 15 units.
Yeah, well, hey, look, guys, I'm going to call it what it is. I mean, I got hired and have been a part of this show since November of 2020. So this would be what? My, 18th, 19th? No, longer than that. 20th month? I've never won. In 20 months, I've never won the belt. Like, I feel like you almost would, my dumb luck would have won it 1 out of 20 by now. We have 6 or 7 people competing. So I had a shot in January, and then Megan closed really, really strong, and that's literally it.
Are you claiming victory right now, man?
No, I'm still gonna fire.
No, I think claim victory.
I'm not claiming any. Well, yeah, I feel
Early.
good about it. I mean, it's hard to look. If anybody's
Early
capable of
month.
blowing a 49, y'all saw my Omaha last year, so I ain't claiming anything. But this would be like Falcons 28-3 blow.
I don't know if
I think it might be worse.
I don't
I
know.
think so.
I mean, I'm
Of
definitely
51 units, you could literally put your 3 picks in, 1 unit each, and just almost take a knee.
Mhm.
And
Unless we hit a 35.
Well, that's the only way. Like, someone would have to hit a monster parlay.
That was a sick part.
Only way.
I mean, all 4 teams were underdogs and hit. And then Notre Dame plus
And
255.
it's not even like hit a parlay like a plus 10 units. Like, don't get you there.
No, I mean,
Like, you need a plus 30 like that to really get you like in the mix.
that was a monster. It made me feel better though, because everything that happened last year. I finally, but I didn't feel a little vindication. All right, today, few picks. I'll go ahead and get to it. I'm being square and taking the Golden State by 4 at home. I know it's.
I don't think that's square.
I don't think at this point it's like I don't think
I
it
have
really
them
matters
too,
that
and
much,
it's
yeah.
not like. I think that if it's almost square to take the Celtics if you're gonna
wouldn't
think
say
about
that.
it. If you're gonna think about
It's
it,
square to take the dog on the road. in
opposite
Game 5.
teams keep winning. It's almost like let's see.
Yeah, but that's not square.
I don't
thing.
think any of I don't think any of them are square. I like.
I mean, I'm kind of in my head saying the home. Like, I know that road teams have won 2 games already, but I kind of think the home teams are about to win the next 3. Is what I think. What I think is coming.
Then the only thing that really matters is the wing pick.
So Golden State by 4. College baseball today. So Barstool Sports book, shout out. At first we just had lines on the games. Then we had over-unders. Now look, we got run lines on the games. Stanford, UConn is outclassed in about every way here. They did win that game 1 because they got the big lead early. They almost blew it. Stanford scored like 7 in the first and won 8-2 yesterday. This is day 3. This is when your pitching staff's out of your top guys. And I just think Stanford's depth and top guys are going to be a lot better than UConn's. I'm laying the 2.5. I don't like laying 250 in a college baseball game, so I'm laying the 2.5 runs. I think Stanford wins like 10-3 today, something like that. And then the other game, Auburn and Oregon State, it's game 3. Oregon State, by the way, their ace's name, it's Jerpe, spelled H-J-E-R-P-E, the Herp. Pretty funny. But he pitched a great game last night, but he ain't pitching today for Oregon State. And they're both down to their number 3 guys. Oregon State does have good pitching, but this Auburn team can hit. They're on a really, really big heater, and I just continue the strategy that's been working in college baseball has been taking those plus 120s and plus 130s. I'm going to continue to do it, and I hope Auburn wins, which would set up an Auburn-Ole Miss All-SEC West matchup in Omaha. That's my picks for today. What you got?
Going at Omaha?
Yes, going Thursday. Omaha starts Friday. Heading out Thursday. Ole Miss plays Saturday. Casey Smith's going with A&M. Carl, me, Jake Arrieta going too. So we're gonna do some starting 9 stuff, and really, really pumped about it, man. I don't know. Like, I know I'm gonna be out there a while. Don't know if I'll be there the whole time. I think a lot of it just depends on who wins. Because like the
Ole
thing.
Miss wins. Yeah.
Yeah, if Ole Miss, but even if Arkansas or A&M too, because their fan bases are so big. But like if Notre Dame or Stanford or Oregon State or any of those, I'd probably be going for the title game. So we're just going to take it in stride. But can't wait to get out there. Obviously, it was big last year, and I think it's going to be a whole different level now with Ole Miss being there. All right, Smitty, picks for today.
I got Smitty the K's going again. Aaron Nola over strikeouts. Also, Alacarte's pitching for the Marlins. So, I mean, that game is going to be like a 4-2 max game. Giants minus 1.5. Manoah keeping up his Cy Young pace over K's. Hearn under K's. And also, I'm going to add – we got a bet with Smitty coming out, being priced now. And I'm also going to add a little tennis action for a guy double fault. ATP London. Halsey plus 2.5 games. Halys. How do you pronounce that?
Sure.
I
Pronounce it, Ben. That's Halys.
Halys?
Sure.
Halys?
Yeah.
Halys.
Plus 2.5 games. Minus 120.
Nailed it. Marty, what you got?
I got the Warriors minus 4 today. I got the Padres money line. I got the Braves money line, and the White Sox are such a joke of a team, but I'm going to take them today.
It's off right now.
Still a lot of injuries.
They're so bad. So bad.
Ev?
They fucked me out yesterday.
Nice.
They fucked me so bad.
Oh, really?
After leaving, so the Rangers they go to the White Sox were the home team. Also, they got fucked in general because Kopech gets hurt literally in the first inning. Their ace pitcher. Then it goes to extras 3-3. They're the home team. They get a clean 3 outs in the top of the 9th. They somehow just don't score in the 10th with the runner on with no one out. Then the Rangers score 3 in the 11th. They match the 3, and they give up 2 runs with like 2 outs. 0-2 count was brutal. But fuck it, whatever. I want it today. I'm on the Marlins money line plus 120. I think just Sandy being on the mound plus money. He's been unbelievable this year. Had to take them plus money when he's on the mound. On the Twins Mariners over 8.5. I think we get some fireworks late night tonight in Seattle. And I've already said it today. I'm on the Celtics plus 4. Really like the Celtics. I might even take the money line as well, but I'm on plus 4 right now. Like I said, I think if there's a game where the spread could come into play, I think this one might be it. But, yeah, I'm taking the Celtics. I think the Celtics get a sneaky win today in Golden State.
One other thing I'm going to hit, I don't know if there are any live music fans like me, all New Orleans, huge voodoo throwdown in Central Park tonight at 6. It's like Trombone Shorty, Ivan Neville, all of like the NOLA heroes are playing. Like they have like a NOLA tour around the country all summer. I'm going to be heading over there at 6 to see the Soul Rebels, Trombone Shorty, all that. If you're a fan of New Orleans music, Central Park Summer Stage, come see me. I'm going to be out there for a couple hours, then I'm coming to the stream, trying to keep some funk in my soul. Excited about that. Live stream tonight, as I said, Celtics-Warriors Game 5. Y'all got anything else?
Did you like that Kid Leroy brought out the Wiggles?
I didn't see that.
He brought out, I think it's a great move. He brought out the Wiggles in the middle of his show.
That is kind of a fire move.
The Wiggles is such a callback for soul. Like, I mean, I don't even know what the fuck they.
That's almost even like a little young for us, even.
Yeah, it's young for us. Yeah.
He's young. He's probably like 20.
Yeah.
Kid Leroy, he's young.
He's fucking. I love him.
You know, he's very good.
Did you?
Big fan.
I mean,
I wrote a blog in like 2013 taking my nieces to see the Wiggles.
it's tough.
Yeah.
See the
Shout out Jetsky. He put me on
Leroy's
Kid Leroy
18.
like years ago. Only 18.
Justin Bieber's left side of his face doesn't work.
Yeah, nuts.
Wow.
His eye just doesn't.
Some like
blink.
syndrome. His face like can't move.
Fucking
Yeah.
nuts.
Shout out Za, TJ. Thank y'all as always. Stay tuned. The Yak is up next. We'll be back tomorrow.